Food chains and feeding relationships. Define the key terms involved in a food web. Identify a producer, primary consumer, and secondary consumer in a food web. Apply this terminology to questions. Producers. Light energy is absorbed by plants for photosynthesis and stored as glucose or starch in leaves. They are producers as they make their own food, which supports animals, bacteria, and fungi. Primary consumers. Anything that eats another living thing takes up its energy. Animals that eat plants are called herbivores or primary consumers. Secondary consumers. Animals that eat other animals are known as carnivores or secondary consumers. An omnivore is something that eats both plants and animals. So humans are types of omnivores, also chimps, gorillas, etc. Food chain. A food chain is a list of organisms that eat each other. The arrows show the direction of flow of energy. Predator-prey. Predator is an animal that eats another animal. Prey is an animal that gets eaten by another animal. Scavengers and decomposers. A scavenger, like a maggot, which use energy from dead animals. Decomposers are bacteria and fungi which feed off and decay dead plants and animals. Pyramid of numbers. Pyramid of numbers shows a number of individuals at each stage of a food chain. Most show a pyramid pattern, but sometimes their shape can be different and can become skewed. So in a normal habitat, like you'll have many blades of grass, which will feed a bit less grasshoppers, which will feed less mice, which will feed less snakes. However, sometimes it can become skewed. So for example, in a woodland, one tree is so big that it can support many other organisms. So therefore you'd have one that would then support lots and lots of aphids, which will then support a few birds, which will then support even less birds of prey. Food webs. Although food chains are useful, in reality things are more complex as most animals eat more than one type of food. This complex set of feeding relationships can be shown by a food web.